All rise. Court come to order. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The United States Court for the Northern District of Mississippi and Open Court of Law. Chief Judge Sharon A. Cox presiding. Judge Michael P. Mills. Judge Neil B. Biggers. Judge Glenn H. Davidson. And Judge David A. Sanders. God save the United States and this honorable court.
Thank you. If you will remain standing, please, for the national anthem. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you to the ICC Chamber Singers. Welcome to the United States District Court for the Northern District of Mississippi and the beautiful Itawamba Community College campus. This event is one of the most important in the lives of men and women coming before this court today and in the history of our nation. Today, we have the privilege of witnessing the culmination of lots of hard work and effort on the part of these immigrants to gain citizenship to the United States. Today is especially unique because tomorrow is Constitution Day. 229 years ago today, tomorrow, the Founding Fathers signed the United States Constitution, establishing our national government. Today, I'm joined on the bench by my colleagues, District Judge Michael P. Mills. Sitting next is Senior Judge Neil Biggers, Senior Judge Glenn H. Davidson, and Magistrate Judge David Sanders. We're also privileged today, first of all, to have this attendance. Thank you so very much for being here. It makes it special for the court, and it makes it so special for those that will become new citizens today. We do have a number of special guests I'd like to introduce to you. First of all, I want to acknowledge President Mike Eaton, President of Itawamba Community College, who has so graciously hosted this event. You'll be hearing some remarks from him in a few moments. Thank you, President Eaton. Also, we have two persons here from the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services that will be presenting the business to the court later. That's Robert Trosclair and Chauncey Bell. It's always a pleasure to have representatives from the Daughters of the American Revolution, which I understand most are seated here to my right. There are 10 regional chapters. They have representatives here today from Houston, Mississippi, Amory, Oxford, West Point, New Albany, Fulton, Tupelo, Boonville, Pontotoc, and Columbus. And you will see near the conclusion of the ceremony the importance that our representatives from the Daughters of the American Revolution play when they distribute the flag to these new citizens and they distribute a copy of the United States Constitution. We also have special guests here today, Senator J.P. Wyman. Senator Wyman, thank you. Representative Randy Boyd, Representative Donnie Bell, and United States Marshal Dennis Irby, excuse me. If you'll allow me a point of personal privilege, I also have my mother and have my Aunt Holly Ford, and I also have my husband Randy here today. Marshall Eaton is here with us today and has served again as such a gracious hostess of welcoming people here to the ICC campus. Thank you so very much for welcoming us all to ICC. This is very important to me today and to all of us because of the emphasis that we're placing on Constitution Day being tomorrow. We have several students from Itawamba Community College, and if you would just briefly stand for me, please, if you're a student at the community college. Thank you. We also have students from Itawamba Agricultural High School. If you would stand for us, please. Fantastic, thank you. And we have students from my alma mater, Tremont High School. If you would stand for me, please. Thank you so much for being here. So, we do have many special guests, and I fear that I have missed someone, and if so, I apologize that I have missed you. But today is a special day because of the Constitution Day tomorrow. Students and new citizens today are participating in real-life civics lessons at naturalization ceremonies today at Ellis Island, Pearl Harbor, the Lincoln Memorial, and 37 other locations in the United States, including Itawamba Community College, Fulton, Mississippi. So, at this time, I would like to invite President Eaton to the podium to speak a few words to you.
Thank you, Judge Aycock. Good morning. On behalf of the Itawamba Community College family, including our Board of Trustees, our great faculty, staff, and great students, welcome to the W.O. Benjamin Fine Arts Center on the Fulton campus. We appreciate you being here on this special occasion. And it is a very special occasion for the college because this is the first time that a naturalization ceremony has been held in Mississippi on a community college campus. And Itawamba Community College is both honored and privileged to host this event. We appreciate Judge Aycock providing us with this significant opportunity to host this event, which will transform the lives of 59 individuals today from 22 countries. The ceremony is symbolic of the role of education plays and for all individuals. Becoming a United States citizen is a result of the extensive process, including residency requirements, reasonable proficiency in English language, familiarity with the American history, government, and society, passing an examination, and taking the oath of allegiance, which we have the privilege of witnessing today. So, on behalf of Itawamba Community College, congratulations to each of you. We're both honored and privileged to share this moment with you today. Thank you.
It's my privilege at this time to introduce to you today Gabriela Ungo. Gabriela was born in San Jose, Costa Rica, and is admitted to practice law in New York State and Costa Rica. Gabriela practices exclusively United States immigration law, with emphasis in employment-based immigration. She represents United States employers and individuals in the processing of employment-related non-immigration and immigration visa cases. Gabriela has successfully obtained legal permanent status for nannies, researchers, college and university professors, and other professionals. She has also provides advice and assistance in obtaining immigration benefits for family members, including spouses, children, parents, and fiancés of spouses and children of United States permanent residents. Gabriela received her law degree from a university in Costa Rica and a master's degree in comparative law from the University of Miami. Her 3 children were born in the United States, and I understand 2 of her children are skipping school today to come see Mother speak. Most importantly, Gabriela sit where you're seated today in 2011 when she became a naturalized citizen. Gabriela.
Good morning. I would like to thank Chief Judge Aycock, Judge Davidson, Judge Sanders, Judge Biggers, and Judge Mills for this wonderful invitation. I also thank President Mike Eaton for hosting this beautiful ceremony at Itawamba Community College here in Fulton. Ladies and gentlemen, in particular the 59 United States citizens, their families, and friends. It is a privilege to be part of this wonderful naturalization ceremony conducted in celebration of Constitution Day. When I was invited to speak at the ceremony, I worried tremendously about what to say because, like many, I have been self-diagnosed with glossophobia, commonly known as a severe fear for public speaking. But seriously, in a time when immigration has become a very controversial issue, where loud voices of hatred and discrimination and racism are dominating the airwaves, not only here in America, but the entire planet. I must say that today I have been handed a very important job, for which I am very honored. Before Ronald Reagan left office, he received a letter from a man. Ronald Reagan said, "I don't know why he chose to write it, but I'm glad he did." He wrote that you can go live in France, but you can't become a Frenchman. You can go live in Germany or Italy, but you can't become a German or an Italian. He went through Turkey, Greece, Japan, and other countries. But he said anyone from any corner of the world can come live in the United States and become an American. What makes immigrants coming to America so unique? The United States has successfully adopted a unique policy of patriotic assimilation. America welcomes immigrants while insisting that they learn and embrace its new civic culture and political institutions, thereby forming one nation of many peoples. The patriotic assimilation has been possible because of America's openness has also adopted a set of political principles that we immigrants have chosen to accept by the process of naturalization. That openness policy through patriotic assimilation has been America's immigration success for 400 years. I am first-generation American immigrant. In 2011, I seated right here, where today men and women from 22 countries have gathered to become new citizens of this great nation. I remember feeling excited as it was the last milestone of my immigrant integration to this country. I initially moved to the United States in 1994. For years, I held a wide array of temporary visa categories, from visitor's visa to student visa, from dependent spouse of a J-1 visa holder to an H-1B visa, and always made sure I never felt out of legal status because that would risk my eligibility for permanent residence, aka green card. My family invested time and a fair amount of resources to finally obtain that precious green card in 2006. After being in the United States for 17 years, I took the oath of allegiance before Judge Aycock to become a U.S. citizen. That was the culmination of many nights of anxiety, countless hours of legal advice, and piles of paperwork that could amount the size of a 2-story building. But I'm sure that for many of you, the U.S. immigration journey may have taken longer, with more anxieties and tribulations. Moreover, I imagine that many of you may have escaped political or religious persecution, war, or extreme poverty. Being involved in immigration law, I sometimes would jokingly tell people that a green card is so difficult to obtain, it is regarded as every immigrant's gold ticket. I also try to explain mainly to my American friends that a green card holder is not a U.S. citizen, but she or he may make the choice if they behave, pay taxes, and don't abandon their U.S. residency for a certain amount of years. But if and when we make that choice to naturalize and become U.S. citizens, we're choosing to participate in Americans' political order and to give our primary allegiance to the United States. Allegiance means to have a duty to a country that protects and secures someone's individual freedoms and fundamental rights. In the United States, the allegiance of citizenship stems from a profound attachment and appreciation not to political leaders or to the state, but to the Constitution and the rule of law. This main principle makes the American democracy truly unique. It is also a principle rooted in civic voluntarism, that is, the citizens' involvement in family, work, sports, religion, and the community. It is also rooted in political participation as voters, campaigners, and community activists. Now, if my speech is making you a little bit drowsy, just as this ceremony ends, please consider pondering on 2 main concepts. First, an encouragement to participate and volunteer in our country's government and political order. And second, an encouragement to register and vote in the upcoming elections. As of today, you will enjoy the legal rights and privileges that the American Constitution promises and the freedoms that the American Constitution protects. But also as new citizens, we have a great responsibility. We have a duty to adopt American civic voluntarism, to contribute in our local communities, and to participate in the election of our government officials. We all know that the current presidential campaign has been unique, very controversial, and even surreal. And my personal belief with regards to elections is that I see the constitutional right to vote not as a privilege, but as a responsibility. I would even go as far as believing that participating in democratic elections is every citizen's obligation. I am originally from Costa Rica, a democratic country where every 4 years election day is deemed a national holiday. Citizens from all ages are out on the streets, peacefully celebrating, chanting, waving their party's flags. For Costa Ricans, voting is an obligation of every citizen 18 years or older. Costa Rica is a tiny country compared to the United States. The United States is the most important and influential nation in the planet. As new citizens, we may elect the next American president based on our preferred local agenda, be it immigration policy, protectionism, or whether we feel conservative or liberal. However, it is important to remember that the next president of the United States will also be the most powerful person in the planet. We must exercise our vote responsibly. I encourage you to have a voice in our next presidential election and register to vote. Finally, I encourage you to volunteer in our local communities. I have learned the spirit of American volunteerism, truly unique to this country, in my community of Tupelo, Mississippi. Community leaders and my American friends have inspired me to participate in leadership programs, volunteer in nonprofit organizations, and in our public schools. As new Americans, I encourage you to do the same. Because what we give to this great nation will give to us, our children, our grandchildren, and generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for those very thoughtful and meaningful words and insightful words, having gone through the process. As I mentioned, we do have two representatives from the United States Immigration Service here today. Robert Trosclair is present today, and I understand that you have business to conduct before the court. Is that correct, sir? Yes. May come forward.
May it please the court. United States Citizenship and Immigration Services within the Department of Homeland Security notified 59 persons representing 22 different nationalities to appear before the court this morning for administration of the Oath of Allegiance proceeding. Of those notified, 5 have failed to respond to the call of roll. Those failing to respond on service list are numbers 4, 11, 29, 48, and 56. The service would respectfully move at this time that those persons' applications be set over to a later date due to their absence.
So ordered.
47 of the persons here present before the court have requested to have their name changed as part of these naturalization proceedings. These requests appear to the service to be reasonable, and the service offers no objection. The appropriate orders have been prepared, and on the applicant's behalf, the service respectfully moves that those requests be granted as part of these proceedings.
For those candidates requesting a formal name change, the relief you seek shall be granted.
Each of the persons here present before the court has been examined by an officer of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. Each has been found to be a person of good moral character, attached to the principles of the Constitution, and well disposed to the good order and happiness of the United States. Each has demonstrated a satisfactory knowledge of the history and government of the United States, and has further met the requirements of the law concerning the ability to read, write, and speak the English language. It is the conclusion of the service that each of these persons here present before the court is in all respects qualified for naturalization. At this time, I would like to introduce the applicants to the court.
May I ask that as you stand, as you're introduced, would you please stand and loudly would you tell us the native country?
Yusuf Zadeh.
Yeah.
Ruben Barhonaberg.
Honduras.
Olivia Landaverdi. Shirley Childers.
Philippines.
Oscar Parra Perez.
Mexico.
Ana Dominguez.
Mexico.
Hugo Jimenez.
Mexico.
Dharmahendra Patel.
India.
Ana Rodriguez.
Mexico.
Jana Trekus.
Czech Republic.
Anna Galloway.
Philippines.
Myong Del Priori.
South Korea.
Misu Kim.
Korea.
Hilidoro Cardenas.
Mexico.
Abdo Al Khalifi.
Yemen.
Efren Loza.
Mexico.
Jocelyn Green.
Philippines.
Henry Morales.
Costa Rica.
Luz Rios.
Mexico.
Jessica Nguyen.
Vietnam.
Marcelo Loza.
Mexico.
John Lee.
South Korea.
Rosa Gonzalez.
Mexico.
Eliza Moraz.
Mexico.
Cesar Rego. Abdul Bah.
Sierra Leone.
Ariana Esqueda.
Mexico.
Naguib Al-Badi. Juan Garcia. Andrew Oberly.
Australia.
Alma Guerrero.
Mexico.
Issei Albanez.
Mexico.
Crystal Bunch. Daniel Avery. Jessica Ho.
Vietnam.
Alberto Rojo.
Mexico.
Maya Gregory. Suresh Pandya. Fatima Martinez.
Mexico.
Bessie Espinoza.
Honduras.
Carla Rego.
Portugal.
An Lee. Nelson Jimenez.
Salvador.
Ha Lee. Yuling Wang. Philip Monfort.
Brazil.
Lenin Ramirez. Jacinta Castro.
Mexico.
Lily Pham. Amin Nagy. Juan Cortez. Hang Lee. Arvin Dominguez.
Philippines.
Tri-State, have all names been called? Think we missed one. Would you stand, sir, and give us your name?
My name is Kishore Patel.
Does that name appear on your petition list?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
On behalf of the government of the United States of America, I respectfully move that each of the persons here assembled be admitted to citizenship upon taking the prescribed oath of allegiance.
Thank you. The relief you seek is granted. Upon taking the formal oath required by law, the applicants will be admitted to citizenship in the United States of America. So, at this time, I want to ask that if you would like to, we always allow family members of the new citizens to come forward. You may stand, not on the stage, but by the stage. David Cruz, our clerk of court for the Northern District of Mississippi, will come forward, administer the oath, And it's always a good photo opportunity for the families to see the new citizen being administered the oath and actually becoming a United States citizen. Mr. Cruz.
Thank you, Judge. Y'all would all stand. It's your moment to shine. Raise your right hand.
You may come forward and take a photo if you like.
Come on down. Do what the judge says. All right, repeat after me. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing as we bring in the ICC Chamber Singers for the singing of God Bless America.
God
stage present flags as well as copies of the Constitution. President Eaton, we've had the privilege over the last several years of holding a number of naturalization ceremonies in our federal court buildings, and we have also held some off campus or off the court site, as we're doing today here at Itawamba Community College. But I think I can tell you that none have been more impressive than this one today. So thank you, President, for doing a tremendous job. The flag in the background, the flags on the stadium, on the stage. And this time, we had a discussion about whether the new citizens would be seated in the audience or whether they would be on the stage. And after all, this is their special day along with the families that are here for these new citizens. So we thought it's special that we put them on stage and say to all of you that this is the reason that we're here. This is their special day and the special emphasis on our Constitution. So again, I just want to say how much I appreciate the school administrators and our educators for understanding and appreciating that this was a unique opportunity to have a very real civics lesson. And I think we have heard that today, having heard from Gabriella, who went through the process in 2011, and now speaks to us today about the process that these people have gone through. Earlier in my comments about the 10 regional Daughters of the American Revolution chapters that are represented here today, I failed to point out that we also have some representatives from Aberdeen, of all places for me to forget, since that's my duty station in Aberdeen. But we're glad to have all of you here, so thank you very much. Diocese Chamber Singers did a beautiful job, and that was a very moving experience to hear you sing God Bless America, as we all understand the importance of today, not only for ourselves, but for these new citizens. President Woodrow Wilson once described the naturalization process as the constant and repeated rebirth of our country. I hope that this ceremony today represents for you a rebirth as well. You, ladies and gentlemen, woke up this morning a citizen of a different nation. But as of now, you are American citizens. As Martin Luther King once said, we may have all come on different ships, but we're here now in the same boat. I encourage you to strive to make this country, this state, and your community the best it can be. And as Gabriella asks you to exercise your rights and privileges and perhaps obligation that you are entitled to now, to vote, to hold public office, and to serve on a jury. We're always in need of good citizenship, and we should all leave this ceremony recommitting ourselves to the ideas represented in the United States Constitution and the ideas that we have shared in this room today. I hope today is a rebirth for all of us. At the beginning of the service, I introduced my colleagues, and I'm so appreciative to each of them for coming today to Fulton, because it was special to me to be here in Fulton. But at this time, I would like to give each of them an opportunity, if they so desire, to speak a few words to you. Judge Mills?
I used to come to Itawamba County on business over the years, and moved to the court here, county court. And ceremony. I've attended many of these naturalization ceremonies over the years, and this ranks up there near the top. There's another factor that ranks near the top here today, or in this county. Several years ago, well, it's been more than several now, but I had a case involving the entrance requirements of the 4-year universities in the state. And in that process, I had an occasion to look at and study the ACT scores of each county in the state, and also the amount of money appropriated by the legislatures and the county taxing authorities that is appropriated for the education of schools in each county. And those figures showed that Itawamba County, and that applied to some of the counties around the area, but my memory is specifically for Itawamba County, the ACT scores by the high school students ranked in the top 3 in the whole state. And so this impressive ceremony and the work that people have done on it here today does not surprise me at all. It's a pleasure being here, and congratulate all of the new citizens.
I want to very briefly share one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite people in the world, historical figures, with you. I think it's appropriate today to you new citizens and to you students, particularly you students here. Out in La Jolla, California, on the seawall, one of the most beautiful places in the world, there's a plaque and an inscription that reads as follows. Now, you students, listen to me. We make a living with what we get. We build a life with what we give. Winston Churchill. I think that's a very appropriate quote today, and particularly in light of the speech given by our principal speaker here today. To you new citizens, I welcome you. I wish you Godspeed and most success in your future endeavors, and I look forward to seeing you on a jury in the next few years.
That concludes our ceremony. I would ask that we all give our new citizens a round of applause. Again, I thank you for being here. Families, after the ceremony, if you'd like to come up on stage and take photographs, you're welcome and free to do that with the back setting of the flags. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, court is adjourned.